Guys, what's up? It is Doug, and welcome to a special edition of Spooky Villages. This is a Q&A edition. These are questions that you asked me in a last video, which that video is not up anymore, by the way. I said I would delete it whenever I posted this one, but I had, at the time of this recording, something over 50 questions. So I'm not going to get to all of them. Apologies for that. Some of them are sort of similar, but I'm going to try and knock out a bunch of them. So I actually have on my phone here, I have them queued up, and let's just get through it. I'm going to try and get through as many as I can here. First question here. This is one that I've gotten a lot actually over the years, but it is from Bread Guy, and it says, what is your favorite piece of all time? I think I know, but it'd be fun to hear you talk about it. Also, what are your top few unicorns from Lemax and Department 56 this year after you got your Octo Squeeze? All right, so that's a great question. It's one that I probably should do a video on at some point. You know, I probably will, but you asked it, so what are my favorite pieces? So for Lemax, it's pretty easy. I have a top three that I sort of always go to, or at least I have for the last 3 years. I have Dr. Stretch and Pull's Torture Factory. I have The Last House on the Left. And I have the Mad Pumpkin Patch. Those are my favorite personal 3 Lemax Spooky Town pieces of all time. Now, I've done reviews of all of them on my channel. Dr. Stretch and Pull's is sentimental to me because it was the first ever piece I bought, but the other two are probably my actual favorites, and they go neck and neck between which I like the best. You know, I always say the Mad Pumpkin Patch because I love pumpkin patches, and I think that one's fantastic, but probably at gunpoint, I would say Last House on the Left is my favorite Spooky Town piece. I love how it's a classic haunted house with great animation, great soundtrack. It rules, and I guess I'm not the only one in thinking that, because since it was retired a couple years ago, the price for that one has skyrocketed. And again, you can see reviews of all those on here. Now, as for Department 56, I would say it's Jack's Carving Studio. I mean, that's easy, I think. I love that piece. It was when it was one of the first pieces I ever saw, actually, when it was in a display at my local pumpkin patch. I fell in love with it. Little did I know whenever I saw it that it would be very hard to get. That one was only available 1 year, and it's tough to find, but I love Jack's Carving Studio is fantastic. That's my favorite Department 56 piece of all time, and it's not even that scary. It's more just a fall piece, but hopefully that answers your question. I guess it's a good excuse to segue to the next question here. Andrew's Videos, what's up, Andrew? He asks, what got you into villaging, preferably Spooky Town? So, what got me into them, it's tough because my memory is a little bit hazy. I really got into the hobby officially in 2015, I think it was. 2014 or 15, I forget off the top of my head, but that's when I really got into it. But I'd been aware of it for a while. I remember many years ago I walked into a Michael's around Halloween for something else, and I saw that I saw they were there, right? That the village was up, and I couldn't believe after I'd seen it, you know, that this existed. I'm big into scale modeling. I always have been, and particularly radio control. I build radio control trucks. I actually host a very large YouTube channel, comparatively to this, a large YouTube channel based on RCs. And so I always love little scale miniatures, right? And I fell in love with it then, but what kind of kicked me over the edge was I saw a local pumpkin patch, or I went to a local pumpkin patch and I saw a display. Again, that was like 2014, 2015-ish. And once I saw that, it was like a model train set you could walk through, and it was really cool. That's when I was like, okay, I remembered that back in the day, seeing these things, it was time to get in. And that's really what I did. I started to go crazy. I wound up with a huge haul. Someone local, Craigslist, was like selling a storage bin full of stuff. So I got a bunch of stuff, which jump-started my collection. And of course at Michael's, I was getting stuff, Department 56, it led me to that. And just everything went crazy around that time, all thanks to that pumpkin patch display. And what got me to start this channel, though, was I had been wanting to see what some of these buildings look like before I purchased them. And because you guys know they're expensive, a lot of them, especially the rare ones, are really expensive. And I couldn't really see what they looked like animated. There were some YouTube videos I could find, but they were more displays, like big displays, where they didn't focus on one individual piece. So I had to sort of pick out, was that the building I was looking for? I'm not sure. Or you'd see some that were kind of lower in quality, or like older videos. And so I figured I've got some background in reviewing products. Actually, going back to the radio control thing, I actually write for a radio control magazine as well. I've been a columnist there for 7 years, review a lot of products, and just kind of led to it, right? I was experienced in the format, and nobody was doing it, so I started Spooky Villages. Before getting to the next question, I should say my setup actually is in the garage now. I used to film in my basement, so if you see this backdrop moving a little bit, it's because it's windy out here. It actually is a beautiful day as I'm filming this, and if you hear some background noise too, that's why, so apologies on that. Carter's Mini Villages asks, how many pieces do you have in all? Christmas, summer, Halloween, etc. I actually don't have that many right now. I mean, comparatively, I suppose at one point I had around 100 or something at one time. I'm always buying and selling though, so I don't like to just hoard a bunch and just keep them. I'm always buying and selling, that's with everything. Especially to do this channel, I have to do that. I can't afford to just buy everything. So the ones I'm never going to display, I sold. And actually last year, I sold a bunch for the move to Florida, and that move is still in process. It looks like it's gonna be in the fall now whenever I do that, but I finally get down there. Long story with that. But anyways, I sold a bunch of the buildings that I don't display, so anymore I really have two themes. I have the farm, I love my farm setup, and I have a carnival, which I've started to amass those pieces over the last couple of years here. So that's really it. As far as piece-wise, if you're talking buildings, I mean, I have a ton of like accessories and smaller pieces, but if you're talking buildings, I think I probably have like 20 right now, which is quite a bit smaller than I used to have. Jason Miller, he asks, I know the winters in St. Louis are rough, but how will you, as someone who loves the fall season so much, be happy in the Florida climate? That's easy. I hate winters so much that they've started to impede on my love of fall, actually. The winters here in St. Louis are brutal, or they just go forever, and I'm just tired of it. I cannot wait to be in Florida in the sun. I know I love the fall, but I love the beach even more. Well, I won't say even more, but I could be at the beach all year round, let's put it that way. And the nice part about living down there is I'll be able to vacation up north. So I'm looking forward to start making a trek to Salem every year, or at least every other year, something like that. But I want to get up to the Northeast in the fall, New England, and check that out. I've never been able to because we always take our vacations to the south in the summer. Well, now I can go in the fall up north. So I know my family, we're looking forward to being able to do that. So that's how I'm going to cope with it. I'm cool with the Florida heat to not deal with the Midwest winters, and I can travel up to the Northeast to get my fall fix every fall. Here's an interesting one. Haunt Coaster writes, if you could enter in the You Name It, We Make It Lemax contest, what building would you make? And that kind of goes along with William Zayas, who also says, if Lemax told you you can make one Halloween building and they would produce it, what would it be? So I thought about entering that contest for the last couple of years. I always get busy though with things, and I just never done it. But I can tell you, I know absolutely what it would be. If I could choose one building to make, it would be a haunted corn maze. And I don't know what I would name it yet, but I know the gist of it. It would be a large platform base, like think the graveyard party from last year, large footprint. And in the middle of it, you would have a big scarecrow. Like, there's one by me, a pumpkin patch that does this, where it's sort of like the centerpiece, this gigantic spooky scarecrow they have, and it's lit up. And so I would have lights on that scarecrow in the middle of the hedge maze with glowing red lights that look spooky, and probably even lights that shine up on it as well to really illuminate that middle part of it. And then again, it would be a corn maze. It would be nice to see some scythe, maybe Grim Reaper style. I don't know, like Children of the Corn vibe, right? Kind of a haunted harvest piece. It doesn't have to be a totally like haunted piece to where it's like actual ghosts and monsters, but it could be just a scary Children of the Corn style scarecrow haunted corn maze. I would love it. And I don't even know if it would have animation. I mean, I suppose it'd be cool if you could have people going through the maze or something like that, but I'd be happy with lights and a cool soundtrack. You know, maybe having people enjoying it, some kind of like a frolicking sound, people kind of going through it with just a little bit of a spooky music. That's what reminds me of the local pumpkin patch here, is people going through that, you know, and having fun. So that's what it would be. It would be a haunted corn maze. Peanut Oink asks, do you have any Halloween specials you watch on Halloween? Mine is It's a Disney Halloween Treat. By the way, hi from Berwyn, home of Svengoolie. Sorry, I know I pronounced that wrong. So, Peanut Oink. Yes, I do actually. I have a bunch of Halloween things I like. You know, I have to give a shout out to my friend Thomas, who turned me on to start to watch The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I actually hadn't seen that for many years, and last year I watched it for the first time, and now my kids love it, so that's going to be our tradition going forward. But I really like Nickelodeon's Doug. I know the name, right? I know my name is Doug too. That's really not why. I love that Nicktoon though. I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up in that era. I love it when they go to Funky Town, the Halloween episode. I actually have it DVR'd, and in the DVR version of it that I have, they had some of the bumpers they played in between from the 90s, those old spooky contests and stuff on Nickelodeon. So it's a total retro, like it hits me in the feels. I love that. So I love watching the Doug's Halloween special. Really any of those old Nickelodeon specials though, I like. To parlay it with some of the Halloween memories here, let me look through here, because I know a few people ask me about Halloween memories. Yeah, GC Fan 803 asked this about Halloween memories. Those are my favorite Halloween memories, is watching those old specials when I was younger. My actual Halloween, favorite memories though now, as I'm older with my wife Maggie and our kids, really every Halloween I love doing stuff with them. I think it's really fun. And my favorite Halloween memories as well, not including family, are actually involving this channel now. I equate this channel and doing this and talking to all of you guys with the season, the Spooky Town stuff coming out in July. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So yeah, whenever I was younger, of course, I loved Halloween as a kid. But my favorite memories are modern ones now. I love doing this stuff with my family. And going to the pumpkin patch is the thing that my wife and we started to do ever since before we were married. That was actually the first person I'd ever been with who really liked to go to the pumpkin patch. So we've made that a tradition for, I guess we've been together almost 11 years now. So we've done that every year, and it's been fun to add the kids to it. So really, those are my favorite Halloween memories, going to the pumpkin patch with the kids and my wife. I love that. It's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to, in Florida, being able to see what pumpkin patches are down there and making new memories down there. Melinda Ward asks, what do you think are the best pieces for a beginner collector to purchase? Whatever you want, Melinda, really. I don't think there is a best. I would say go with a big piece though. Just start with that one and start piecing your collection together from there. I wouldn't go crazy. So many people seem to go crazy with them. I'll do a guide, another one this year, kind of a buying guide, but I did a beginner's guide last year, and I would look at that. I would recommend looking at that. That's kind of my opinion on that. Several people have asked about my Haul and Wax channel and what I'm going to do with that. Is it done? Am I going to continue it? Because I haven't uploaded anything on it since like Halloween or around that time. The answer is no, it is not done. There's just been nothing to talk about really. And I've been on, last Halloween I burned myself out something fierce with candles and just buying too many of them. This year what I'm doing is I am just doing fall and Halloween. That's it. So yes, you will see Haul and Wax come back whenever the fall collections start to come out from companies. Mainly Yankee and Bath & Body Works is what I'm gonna focus on. Maybe some other Halloween stuff if I find one or two here, but for the most part, yeah. And I'm waiting on Yankee stuff to come out. They haven't come out yet, and Bath & Body Works hasn't either. I would guess they're probably both gonna be in July-ish is when they'll both be out. But yes, Haul and Wax will come back for the fall, just to go over some of the fall stuff. I'm not gonna be doing a bunch over there, but yes, the plan is every year I come back and talk about fall candles on it. So Haunt Former, Mac, what's up, Mac? He says, what are your favorite types of houses, villages, themes for your personal display or from displays you've seen? So, I love seeing all of the displays everybody does, right? I have chosen to start collecting and just kind of focusing on the farmhouse, farm stuff and carnival, but I love them all. I love watching them all. I suppose if I had more space, because down in Florida, the thing is the houses, they don't have basements, most of them. So that's where I've had to downsize my collection to just focus on these themes. I would love to have a massive trick-or-treat village. I suppose if you ask what's my favorite ones to look at, I love to watch the people that go all out. A shout out to my friend Kelly. If you're watching this, you know who you are. She has an amazing trick-or-treat village display. And I just love when the people go all out, adding stuff to trick-or-treat villages, the very traditional neighborhoods. ADA asks, if you had unlimited funds and ample space, what would your dream village display look like? Well, I've done a lot of the stuff I'd like to do, but let me tell you, if I did have space and budget was no issue, I would go all out with the pirate theme. I love that theme. I think it was great. It's not very Halloween, I suppose, but it was fun. The whole ghost pirate theme, as was the Egyptian theme, that stuff was fun. I would love to do a big pirate display. Sadly, I had a bunch of those buildings that I bought in a lot and I wound up selling them all off. That was before I had this channel though, so that's a huge bummer. Final question here is going to be from Yodaman5575. Do you have a specific piece that brings you back to a favorite Halloween memory? Awesome channel, by the way. This really kickstarted my love for spooky villaging. Well, thank you very much. I love to hear that. Anytime someone says that to me, I really like it. It makes me feel good because that's ultimately what this channel was to help collectors, right? Or people to maybe get started in it, or if you are a collector, if you couldn't see what something looked like, you can now. And if nothing else, I'm somebody to talk to about this stuff if you don't have anybody in your personal life for it. So yeah, to get back to your question though, the pieces that bring back the most memories for me are the trick-or-treat villages, like the houses. I think those make me extremely nostalgic. I also love the farm pieces as well for, you know, pumpkin patch stuff, but I love those trick-or-treat houses, all of them. They bring back so many memories. All right, guys, hey, that's going to do it for today. I have made note of all of your questions though, and I'm gonna do another Q&A video where I answer more of them because there are some other really good ones. I know this one's getting long. I don't wanna go forever on this one, but I'll be back again with another QA video this summer. I'll do it for sure. So I want to thank you guys very much, and I hope your question got answered. If not, I hope to get to it later. So you can always drop it below here too. I'll respond. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I will talk to you soon.